Sywell, please put your hands together. Give them a huge round of applause. It's the 2024 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team. It's the Red Arrows! As I said, the team arrive in our world-famous Diamond 9, trailing our red, whites and blue. They arrive at approximately 450 miles per hour. And they pull up and you can really see that planned form of the Diamond 9 as Reds 8 and 9 move themselves rearwards to convert into 9 Arrow. Reaching a height of approximately 5,500 to 6,000 feet at the top of that loop, with the aircraft slowing down to approximately 120 miles per hour. You hear the commands from Red 1, and Red 1 this year we've got a new team leader. That is squad leader John Bond, known as Bondy. Bondy was been in the team for 5 years before taking a year out in 2023. He's been Red 2, 7 and the Synchro leader before coming back in 2022 to fill in for one of the personnel that was unfortunately taken ill. Coming in from the left, you now see 6 and 7 move either side. The smoke will come on for Big Vixen. Bondy is a former Typhoon pilot. He was also a qualified flying instructor on the Tucano, where he was the Tucano display pilot in 2012. There are actually 11 pilots in the Red Arrows. You have Reds 1 through 9 performing for you today as myself, Red 10, former Tornado GR4 pilot, former qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 2. And of course, the military unit, we are commanded by Officer Commanding RAF, that's Wing Commander Adam Collins. He was my predecessor as Red 10, former Tornado GR4 pilot, and he also flew the F-111 while on exchange with the Royal Australian Air Force. Reds 8 and 9 now make themselves rearwards. And in this year, it's no secret to anyone who follows aviation and military history, we celebrated the 80th anniversary of Operation Overlord, which of course was the storming of the Normandy beaches. And we heard Mike talking about the Spitfire taking the first kill on D-Day. And in from the right to commemorate that event, this is Spitfire. On the right hand side of Red 1 is Red 2, that's squad leader Chris Mackay. He's in his first year on the team. Out of training, he was taken directly as an instructor on the Tucano. Once he'd finished his time as an instructor, he then joined the world-famous 617 Dam Buster Squadron on the GR4, where he actually received an Air Force Cross for service on operations over Afghanistan. His opposite number on the left-hand side is Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wales, known as Dusty, originally from Zimbabwe, former Typhoon pilot, having flown with 11 Squadron, an instructor on 29 Squadron before joining the Test and Evaluation Squadron, 41 Squadron, all based at RAF Coningsby. The smoke is on Reds 4 and 5 as either side of the centre stem make their way rearwards. And in November last year, it was the 20th anniversary of the final flight of one of the most iconic and famous aircrafts in aviation history. As the team roll out, there is no mistaking the shape of the wonderful, majestic and iconic. This is Concorde. Showing the expertise of the pilots doing the formation in loop. And to make it even more difficult, you'll see Reds 8 and 9 once again move themselves outwards, change the shape from Concorde into Signet. The aircraft slowing down to only 120 miles an hour. The pilots fighting with the less responsive controls, and now it starts to increase to 200, 300, back to that 400 miles per hour, making the controls a lot more responsive as Red 1 brings them around to the left. The Red Arrows is not just about the pilots. We have a team of over 140 personnel, with over 120 of them are the engineers, the logisticians, the administrators, the PR, and they are known as the Blues, named after the colour of their flying coveralls that they wear. And a number of them are at our PR tent at the back of the show, so please go along and say hello. You now see the wings have flexed forward, 6 and 7 moved rearwards and apart for the colourful Phoenix. In the middle of that right-hand wing is Red 4, that's Flight Lieutenant Ollie Suckling. Ollie's in his second year on the team. He was Red 4 last year, and he remained as Red 4 and took up the position affectionately known as Uncle Enid. And this means he helps Red 1 through winter training, mentoring and leading the new pilots through their winter training all through the winter training period. And Red 4 would also like to give a shout out to Elkanah and Ariana from their fave cousin Ollie, and also say hello to his uncle Christopher and his auntie Jane. You now see Reds 8 and 9 move their way rearwards, and the team will form 2 distinctive rows. Coming in from the right, the smoke will come on for the Chevron roll. On the front row, all the way over on the left-hand side, is Red 5, Flight Lieutenant George Hobday. George is in his first year at the team, a former Typhoon pilot, flown 11 Squadron at RAF Coventry, and he has also taken part in operations over Syria and Iraq, as well as taking part in the Eastern European Air Policing Patrol in the face of the aggressive Russia. As I said, we have a team of over 140 personnel, and we talked about the Blues. Inside those Blues, there are 11 individuals who get to fly in the back of our aircraft in between displays when we cannot take the full engineering complement, and they are known as Circus. One individual with me at every display is Circus 10, that's Corporal Dye, all the way over to the right. They are filming the display for debriefing and safety purposes, and he's also responsible for many of the images and videos you see across social media. Looking front to the left, you'll see the team now with 8 and 9 in the rear. For one of the most popular, if not the most popular show, it's the colourful, the dynamic Tornado. The aboard call is made by Red 9 as Red 8 and 9, red smoke for Red 8, blue smoke for Red 9, rolling around the formation as Red 1 bends the team around the left, changes the colour to fly the Tornado down the line. In that particular movie, you'll see that the aircraft are flying with their air brakes out. That's a small door at the bottom of the aircraft towards the rear. This has a twofold effect. It makes the pilots fly with a higher throttle setting, and thereby it produces a... You'll see Red 9 now joining the rest of the formation. We're coming to the end of the first half. As Red 1 continues to bring them around the left, the smoke will come on. This will be your last opportunity to catch the formation in our world-famous Diamond 9. The smoke comes on from the right, the 2024 in Diamond 9, the Red Arrows. As we go into the second half, Red 1 has brought back one of the manoeuvres not flown since 2003. Once again, get your cameras ready for the 5-4 split. As we go into the second half, we now split down into smaller sections. Off to the right-hand side, you've got Reds 1 through 5. They're now known as Enid, named after Enid Blyton's famous 5. And Reds 6, 7, 8 and 9 off to the left, they are now known as Hannah, named after squadron leader Ray Hannah. You saw his Spitfire flying earlier. He's one of the early members of the Red Arrows, the only Red 1 to lead the team for 4 years. He took the team from a 7 to a 9 and also formed our trademark Diamond 9. Enid from the right, Hannah from the left for the 5-4 cross.
Ils vont faire comme les Italiens. Non, on va éviter. Ouais, mais au début, pas à la fin. Oui, c'est là.
Keep your eye on Enid going off to the left-hand side. As I said, the Red Arrows were formed in 1964 with our first public display in 1965. And we were actually formed from 3 different teams. We were formed from the Red Pelicans, the Black Arrows and the Yellow Jacks. We took the Reds from the Red Pelicans, the Arrows from the Black Arrows to give us our name, and then we took the aircraft from the Yellow Jacks. Coming in from the right, Enid will now create a shape to represent and pay tribute to that aircraft. This is Nat. Continued flying the night right the way up until 1980 when we took control of the Hawk T-Mark 1, which is still the aircraft that we fly today. And the Hawk is actually 50 years old this year, the T-Mark 1. And a lot of the pilots that have flown her have a fond favourite with her. She's extremely agile, extremely capable and great fun to fly. Look directly to your front. You can see the smoke from Hannah, red and blue on from 8 and 9. Get your cameras ready for the Hannah break. Red 7 and 8 to your left-hand side, red 6 and 9 to your right-hand side. Hannah and the Synchro pair are led by the Synchro leader. That's onto your right-hand side, the guy climbing up now, red 6, Flight Lieutenant Stu Roberts. Stu is in his 3rd and final year on the team. He's a former Typhoon pilot. He has flown in positions 2 and 7 and 6. And on the Typhoon, he flew with 11 and 12 squadrons at RAF Coningsby. Each pair will now dive down to approximately 100 feet above the airfield. They have a closing speed of over 800 miles per hour, looking to pass each other within only 30 metres, that's 100 feet wingtip to wingtip. Get your cameras ready. This is the Hannah pass. Red 6 off to the left and red 7 off to the right. Red 7 is squadron leader Tom Hansford. He is in his 2nd year on the team. He's a former Typhoon pilot and qualified weapons instructor. Each aircraft now turning hard as they complete the manoeuvre called Cyclone. As the Synchro pair lead directly to your front, coming in from the left is Red 9 with his smoke on. That's Flight Lieutenant Patrick Kershaw. His 3rd and final year on the team. Former Typhoon pilot to the right as he lines up with Enid in the inverted V for the Goose.
Let's look at white now.
Red 9 climbing up, changing his shape from blue into white into red. As Paddy's in his 3rd and final year. And he's also a qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 1 when he's based on 208 squadron at As Enid leads directly to your left, look to your right-hand side and you can see the Synchro pair running up. Red 6 lead with red 7 in trail. The smoke comes on. Get your cameras ready for the famous Synchro Heart. And coming in from the top right-hand side is red 8 as he spears the Heart. Red 8 is Flight Lieutenant Richard Walker, former Harrier pilot, former Typhoon pilot and qualified flying instructor on the Hawk T-Mark 2. And Red 3, Flight Lieutenant Dustin Wells likes to dedicate today's heart to his late Uncle William. whose birthday is today, and his wife Barbara and his children are here today. That's Chloe and Hannah. And give Red 6, 7 and 8 a wonderful round of applause for such a wonderful heart in the skies over Sywell. Keep your eye on Red 6 and 7 once again down to 100 feet. They'll be head on. At the last minute they will turn away from each other for the opposition barrel roll. As the Synchro power leaves to our rear, coming in from the left-hand side, you've got Enid, and they've now been joined by Reds 8 and 9. As Red Pull 1 pulls them up once again, over 450 miles per hour, he'll roll to the right. Get your cameras ready for the Vixen vertical break. As the vertical brake leads directly to your front, look to your left, look to your right. Once again, you've got Red 6 this time coming in from the left, Red 7 coming in from the right. Once again, with that closing speed of over 800 miles per hour. Each aircraft will conduct a 360-degree aileron roll after they cross. Pull go is a call from Red 6. As each aircraft now pull up, experience 5 to 6 G. That means everything about them is now weighing 5 to 6 times heavier than what you and I are on the ground. They'll reach a height of over 3,000 feet. They'll be inverted 60 degrees nose down before they roll the right way up to complete the manoeuvre called boomerang. Look in the distance, slightly to the right, you can see the white smoke of Enid once again as they start to pull on. The colour on comes on, and the aircraft conduct a barrel roll, leaving a snake-like smoke trail in the sky. For the first part of the manoeuvre, we like to call the Serpent. As the team pass and Red 1 keeps that next part of the Serpent flat, you can see our famous red, white and blue. You may be able to see a small pod underneath the bottom of the aeroplane. That's the smoke pod. That smoke pod is capable of producing approximately 5 minutes of white smoke, 1 minute of red smoke and 1 minute of blue smoke. And each of the colours have its own individual button on the pilot's control column. And they're selected through the display to ensure that we have the right colour at the right time in the display. You now see Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 moved up alongside Red 1. They're looking 90 degrees along their shoulders. Extremely hard formation to maintain as the smoke comes on. In the second part of the Serpent, the Tango present. The motto of the Red Arrows is a class, which means excellence, and that means every member of the squadron, from the officer commanding right the way down to the newest member, is striving for excellence in everything that we do. And we also try to leave the squadron in a better place from whence we found it when we joined. As Enid leaves to the left-hand side, once again coming in from the left is Hannah. You'll see Red 6, 7 and 8 and 9. Red 6 rolls inverted.
Easing up.
He starts to ease up and Red 6 is now pushing a negative G and he starts to roll. So he's trying to conduct now a negative G barrel roll. Red 6 working extremely hard against that negative G, stopping the blood from rushing all the way into his head as Red 7, 8 and 9 hold on as the barrel roll for the mirror roll.
Serpent, now. And 6, rolling out.
And the manoeuvre finished off by Reds 8 and 9 rolling back with the red and the blue smoke.
Now. Oh, Serpent, now. Hello, then rolling.
As Hannah leads to the right hand side, look to your left once again, Enid coming in line abreast. 2 and 3, roll goes, Reds 2 and 3, roll to the outside. Clear goes the column as Reds 4 and 5 roll around the outside. So one of the hardest manoeuvres for new pilots to master each year. As I said, an extremely busy year for the Red Arrows. 17th of August we fly over to Canada and we spend approximately 5 weeks there before eventually coming back to the UK, and our final show of 2024 will be on the 5th of October at Duxford. As Enid leaves to your right, look directly to your front, you can see Hannah running back in with Red 6 and 7 at the bottom and 8 and 9 on the top. As I said, our 60th anniversary, our Diamond Jubilee season. The smoke comes on as Reds 8 and 9 draw something wonderful in the sky to celebrate our Diamond season. As Reds 8 and 9 complete their drawing in the sky of 60 to celebrate our 60 display season. Keep your eye once again on Red 6 and 7 for their final manoeuvre of the show. They'll pull up to approximately 1,500 feet. They'll make their way back towards the display line for their final pass once again. That's only 100 feet above the airfield. With a closing speed of over 800 miles per hour, looking to pass within only 30 metres of each other. 6 from the right, 7 from the left for the Synchro double roll. Complete their double rolls. Look directly to your front. You can see Enid joined by 8 and 9. Get your cameras ready for the Vixen break. But Sywell, it's been an honour and it's been a pleasure. Please put your hands together for the 2024 Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team. It's the Red Arrows!